Okay, let's take a quick trip back 2 years. The entire tech world was completely obsessed with just one question. What comes after the smartphone? I mean, we've all been staring at the exact same glowing rectangles for over a decade, right? And suddenly, two different companies popped up, convinced they had the ultimate answer. They were ready to bet the farm on brand new AI-powered devices that were supposed to put our screens in the grave once and for all. First up was a device called the Humane AI Pin. And man, this thing was the absolute darling of Silicon Valley right out of the gate. They raised a staggering $230 million from heavyweights like Salesforce and secured endorsements from some of the biggest names in the industry. It launched with massive, off-the-charts hype and a really premium $699 price tag. But when the reviews finally dropped, yikes. Tech critics didn't hold back at all. They called it literally one of the worst products they had ever tested. And the fallout from those reviews? It was brutal. Humane eventually ended up selling to HP for $116 million. Now that sounds like a lot of money until you realize it's less than half of what they raised from investors in the first place. And get this, HP didn't even try to salvage the tech. They just shut the product down entirely, which permanently bricked every single device that had been sold to early adopters. It was just a complete and total wipeout. Then there was the Rabbit R1. Now, they took a slightly different approach, and honestly, it looked like a massive success at first. They sold an incredibly impressive 100,000 units on pre-order alone. But the very second those bright orange devices actually reached consumers, the whole illusion shattered. The reviews were terrible, returns absolutely flooded their warehouses, and reportedly the company is still struggling to find its footing today. So after watching hundreds of millions of dollars literally go up in smoke, the tech industry drew one big collective conclusion. AI hardware simply doesn't work. The smartphone is just way too dominant, the app ecosystems are too entrenched, and let's be real, nobody actually wants to carry around a second device. But, sitting quietly on the sidelines, OpenAI looked at these spectacular failures and decided something entirely different. They decided they could do it better. Fast forward to today. We now know that in the second half of 2026, OpenAI is gearing up to unveil its first ever consumer hardware device. And guys, this isn't just some fun little side project for them. It's actually being designed by the legendary creator of the iPhone, and OpenAI is targeting an unbelievable 40 to 50 million units in its first year alone. Oh, and the wildest part of all this? If the supply chain leaks are right, this groundbreaking device won't even have a screen. This is The Explainer. Today, we're diving into exactly what OpenAI is secretly building, why their unique approach might actually succeed where everyone else crashed and burned, and what this all means for that glowing device sitting in your pocket right now. Let's get into it. To truly grasp why OpenAI believes they can actually beat the smartphone, you have to look at this unprecedented, totally under-the-radar move they made in May 2025. They quietly acquired a hardware startup called IO Products for $6.4 billion. I just want you to let that number sink in for a second. That is the largest acquisition in OpenAI's entire history. It's bigger than any AI model they've bought, any research lab they've funded, or any partnership they've ever formed. $6.4 billion for a company almost nobody had ever even heard of. Now, that staggering price tag makes perfect sense when you find out exactly who founded IO Products. Jony Ive. If you aren't familiar with the name, I guarantee you have absolutely held his work in your hands. During his 27 years as Apple's chief design officer, Ive essentially designed the modern world. He created the candy-colored iMac that literally saved Apple from bankruptcy back in 1998. He designed the original iPod, the iPad, the Apple Watch, and crucially, he designed the original iPhone in 2007, the exact device that created the modern smartphone era. So, after leaving Apple in 2019, Ive sets up this design firm called Love From, and he quietly starts tinkering with these AI hardware concepts through this new venture, IO Products. Well, when OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman got a look at these early prototypes, he reportedly called them the most remarkable things he had ever seen in his life. OpenAI bought the company on the spot. That acquisition brought 55 top-tier hardware engineers completely in-house. So now, while his firm Love From remains separate, Jony Ive is effectively OpenAI's head of design. Think about that. The visionary who built the iPhone is officially building the device meant to replace it. So, what exactly is he building? While OpenAI hasn't officially unveiled the final hardware just yet, a trail of supply chain leaks out of Taiwan has given us an incredibly clear picture. They're actually developing two devices simultaneously. The first one is codenamed SweetPea. Leakers describe it as an audio-first, behind-the-ear wearable. It's got this smooth, eggstone-shaped metal body. Think of it kind of like an ambient AI companion that just lives on your ear, powered by a bleeding-edge 2-nanometer Samsung chip that handles all the heavy processing right there on the device. Then you have the second device, codenamed Gumdrop. Now, this one is a screenless pocket device. It's sort of a hybrid between an old iPod Shuffle and a smart pen. It features built-in cameras and microphones so it can actively see and hear your environment, and you can either carry it in your pocket or just wear it on a lanyard around your neck. Both of these really unique form factors stem directly from Sam Altman's core vision. He wants an AI device that feels peaceful and calm. He actually views modern smartphones as these over-designed, overstimulating distraction machines that pull us away from the real world. To him, staring at a grid of apps all day is fundamentally the wrong interface for how humans actually want to interact with artificial intelligence. The goal here is to create this seamless, invisible layer of help that doesn't demand your constant visual attention. And let me tell you, they are not starting small. OpenAI actually plans to launch 5 different hardware products before the end of 2028, starting with that SweetPea earpiece. They've already contracted Foxconn, which is the exact same manufacturing giant that builds Apple's iPhones, to handle production out of their facilities in Vietnam. And their target of 40 to 50 million units in the very first year, it is absolutely jaw-dropping. Just for some context, that is way more iPhones than Apple managed to sell in its first 3 years combined. OpenAI isn't just dipping their toes in the water here. They are diving in headfirst for a massive launch expected around September 2026.
But wait, why does OpenAI think they can succeed with 50 million units when Humane and Rabbit couldn't even sell a tiny fraction of that? Well, it all comes down to fixing their predecessor's fatal technical flaws. See, the Humane AI Pin was completely ruined by what engineers call latency. Because it couldn't process the AI directly on the device itself, every single time you asked it a question, your voice had to travel all the way to a cloud server, get processed, and travel all the way back. Waiting several seconds for an answer feels like an absolute eternity when Siri or Alexa responds instantly. The Rabbit R1, on the other hand, failed for a totally different reason. Its software was making promises its AI just couldn't keep. It was supposed to navigate your apps for you, but it constantly hallucinated, got super confused, and basically just broke down. The hardware was okay, but the underlying AI simply wasn't ready.
Beyond those really frustrating tech glitches, both of those early devices failed the ultimate consumer sniff test. They simply could not answer one simple, brutal question. Why wouldn't I just use my phone? I mean, for nearly every single task you threw at the AI Pin or the Rabbit R1, simply pulling out a smartphone from your pocket was just faster, way more reliable, and honestly a whole lot easier. OpenAI has watched all of this unfold and intentionally designed their hardware to pass that exact test. By throwing a super powerful 2-nanometer chip right inside that SweetPea earpiece, they completely eliminate that frustrating cloud latency. Bam! Instant responses. Plus, their AI models have finally advanced to a point where they can genuinely execute complex tasks flawlessly. And rather than trying to project lasers onto your hand or make you navigate apps on a tiny secondary screen, they are focusing entirely on a screenless audio-first experience. They're actually closely studying the one AI wearable that has genuinely succeeded so far, Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses. Meta basically proved that if you put AI into a simple, familiar form factor without a distracting screen, people will naturally just integrate it into their daily lives. But underneath all those impressive tech specs and the whole minimalist design philosophy, there is a massive strategic question we really need to answer. Why does OpenAI, a software company pulling in an estimated $25 billion a year in revenue, even want the massive headache of manufacturing physical hardware in the first place? The answer boils down to 2 vital words in the tech industry: distribution and dependency. Think about exactly how you use ChatGPT right now. You probably open an app on your iPhone or your Android device, right? That means Apple and Google literally own the ground that OpenAI's entire consumer business is built on. And with Apple heavily pushing their new Siri 2.0 and Google aggressively integrating Gemini directly into Android, OpenAI is in an incredibly precarious position right now. At any given moment, Apple or Google could just quietly change an App Store policy, they could bury ChatGPT in the search results, or they could make their own AI the unchangeable default on your phone. OpenAI is facing a real existential threat because their entire operation is effectively held hostage by their 2 biggest competitors. Building their own proprietary hardware is exactly how OpenAI breaks out of that cage. Think about it. If you have an OpenAI earpiece in all day long, ChatGPT becomes your default reality. They don't have to fight Siri for screen space anymore because OpenAI completely controls the interface, and OpenAI controls the entire user experience. They are no longer just a tenant renting space in Apple's ecosystem. It's the exact same defensive strategy that forced Google to make Pixel phones and Amazon to build Alexa speakers.
When you have 800 million active users relying on your software, you absolutely cannot afford to let someone else control your hardware destiny.
So, as we look toward this massive 2026 launch, there are a few practical realities we need to keep in mind. First up, do not expect this to replace your iPhone overnight. The SweetPea earpiece is meant to be a companion device. It's something that lets you interact with ChatGPT naturally all day long while your phone stays tucked safely away in your pocket. Second, this is absolutely not going to be a cheap budget gadget because it requires those high-end smartphone-level chips to run local AI models smoothly. You need to expect premium pricing. Humane charged $699 and failed miserably. OpenAI is going to have to deliver an infinitely better experience to justify that kind of premium price tag to the average consumer.
And third, the timing here is absolutely explosive. If SweetPea hits shelves in September 2026 as predicted, it is going to launch head-to-head against the iPhone 17. That is the exact same moment Apple is expected to roll out a fully realized Siri 2.0, which will be powered by Google's Gemini. We are looking at a titanic collision of tech giants here. Whoever successfully wins your ear in that crucial window, they are going to win the AI interface for the next decade of your life.
When you step back and look at the raw numbers here, a $6.4 billion acquisition just to get Jony Ive, 40 to 50 million target units right out of the gate, all leveraging an existing base of 800 million active users. You realize this is much bigger than just some cool new gadget. We have been completely locked into the smartphone paradigm since 2007. Every single attempt to dethrone it has totally crashed and burned. But for the very first time, the AI models are genuinely smart enough, the local chips are actually fast enough, and the man who literally designed the iPhone is finally ready to show us what comes next.
Which brings us to the most important question of all, the one you have to ask yourself before these devices even drop. What would you actually use an always-on AI earpiece for? What are you doing on your screen right now that you would honestly rather just handle through a quick, natural voice conversation? If you can easily name 3 daily tasks, then OpenAI has a massive market waiting for them. But if you're struggling to think of even one good use case, well, that is the billion-dollar hurdle OpenAI still has to clear before launch day. Look, with Jony Ive's unmatched design expertise, a massive production target, a war chest of billions of dollars invested, and the most capable, widely used AI model on the planet backing them up, OpenAI has advantages literally no one else does. Will it finally be enough to break our smartphone addiction and usher in a totally new era of ambient computing? We'll find out very soon.
I'm your host. This is The Explainer, the most important tools shaping the world in plain English every week. Subscribe and drop in the comments. Would you buy an OpenAI device? Or is your phone good enough? See you in the next one.